this week we have been out 15 miles that way or so, working on a Jeep. Just doing all sorts of lighting and stereo upgrades, all this other crazy stuff, and we didn't get any footage of that. The main reason, one, it's not in our shop. Two, all you would have seen is us doing that because there's like no room for what we're doing. So I'm afraid to be a little on the boring side, but there's something, and so something me and Ray did want to talk about. We recorded a whole video, and I went to edit it. It wasn't doing it. There was too much noise in the background. One of the neighbors was out cutting the grass, and you couldn't hear nothing. Blah blah blah. So we scrapped that and decided to just redo it right now. Unfortunately, Ray's not here. We wanted to talk about wreckers versus flatbeds. We had a bunch of points we wanted to hit on and kind of go from there. So, which one's better? Well, the short answer is neither. They both have their weak points, they both have their strong points. So we'll start with the flatbed. Stuff that it can do that one of these trucks can't, or at least not safely and or legally, because we'll just leave it at that. Buildings within legal limits, equipment, and toolboxes and freight. You're not going to fit all that crazy stuff on the back of one of these. There's no room. Flatbed, you know, on average 19 to 22 foot of just flat deck space. So you put some pretty cool stuff on there. Where a flatbed comes into limitations is, one, it's not a recovery truck. This thing here and the 8-ton we just built the engine for, those are recovery trucks. What we call recovery style trucks. They got the boom on them and all that fun stuff. A flatbed's only held on to the chassis at 4 points. 2 pistons and 2 roll pins at the very back. That's it. You start twisting on one of those things, you can actually break them right off the chassis. Just seeing it happen. So, and there is a big stigma out there that everything belongs on a flatbed. Okay, let's address that. We have what's called a no drag policy. Me and Ray have come up with it and we have stuck to it, and it has kept our insurance nice and low. What that simply means is we will not, under any circumstance, drag a vehicle up on the back of the flatbed. With everything being made of aluminum nowadays, not a good idea. You'll wind up causing yourself some insurance claims, damage claims, whatever you want to call it, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to tear up a customer's vehicle, because then they're out of it for however long it takes to fix. It can be a while if parts aren't available, especially if it's an oddball part that gets tore up. The other thing is lowered vehicles, things that, you know who you are, your car's sitting that far off the ground. There is no physical way to get that up on a flatbed without scraping or crushing the front or rear bumper. Yes, you can put boards under it, but some of the stuff we've hauled is upwards of $200,000 to $300,000 in value. No, I'm not trusting a $20 set of boards from Lowe's. Especially, you've seen those things, they're wavy as hell anyway. But we're just not going to do that. So what's the solution? The solution's one of these trucks, wrecker, SZ dollies, which you guys have seen us do before with, I think it was a Porsche video. That vehicle is locked in park, and we can only access the rear end of it. Perfect. Grab the wheel lift on the back end, the front end under the set of dollies, and you go down the road with it. You don't have to drag it. You don't risk hurting the vehicle. This company's been open 15 years, and we have 0 damage claims because of policies like this. And I've turned down a lot of work because, oh, I want this on a flatbed. Okay, it's a BMW X5, it's locked down, it's an X-Drive, you can't get it out of neutral, or excuse me, can't get it out of park. I'm not dragging it, dude. You're doing it our way, or you can pay someone else to tear your car up, but we're not doing it. So that's the flatbed in a nutshell. Let's move on to the wreckers. Alright, so wreckers. What's so great about them? It's this thing right here, the wheel lift, under reach, whatever you want to call it. There's two different types. There's a repo style, the auto loader as they call it, and then they have these which are conventional. Personally, just me, I like the conventionals better. I've got more adjustability. Just for example, I can slide these in and out, and the L-arms that go in here, these L-arms here are adjustable. From about here on this truck anyway, all the way out to here. This is mainly the style of wrecker we're talking about, is one of these bad boys. Now, no, we can't haul equipment or freight or any of that craziness as you've seen with a flatbed, but we do have this in the dolly system. So vehicles that are, you know, locked down and parked that we don't want to drag are super low. We can get them with this. This doesn't have to be this high to tow something. It can be pretty close to the ground if you know what you're doing. That's one of the advantages to one of these trucks, not to mention the lift's only, right now I'd say 5 to 6 foot behind the center line of the rear axle. At full extension I think it's 8 foot, so keeps the weight closer to the rear axle of the truck, when you're towing anyway. The other thing is, these trucks are great for recovery style work. Now, a recovery is not, in my opinion, is not just yanking someone out of the ditch. Or someone that's stuck, that is a winch out. Recovery is, you know, when you actually have to do some lifting and rigging and all sorts of other craziness like that. That's where these trucks really excel. The boom up there, 24,000 pound boom. So as you can imagine, we use it to lift things. That comes into a whole different ball game of stuff. We'll say, if he wants to explain that, we'll gladly do a video on that and show you what we're talking about. The other advantage is this truck is, I think, 10 foot shorter than the flatbed. The flatbed all the way out and down, it's like 45 feet long. It's absolutely ridiculous. So as you can imagine, getting in and out of tight places can be a nightmare. So when you know, you sit and think about it, you know, each truck has its advantages and disadvantages. One can do things that the other can't, and that's fine. It's great to have both in your arsenal. There is legalities to using both. There's certain things you're supposed to do and not do, and blah blah blah. And something we did not mention on the flatbed section of this, which I will mention now, is weight. This is the big one. So with a wrecker, you're only picking up, literally lifting a portion of the weight of the vehicle. Whereas on a flatbed, you're literally hauling the whole entire weight on its back. So, oh, flatbeds are stronger. No, it's not a matter of stronger, it tows the weight differently. Anytime you load either one of these trucks and you put weight on the rear axle, you typically pull weight off the front axle. You pull too much weight off the front axle, obviously you have a problem. You can't steer, and stopping becomes very interesting. So you've got to really pay attention to what you're doing, and just because it fits doesn't mean it ships. Okay? We've turned down work even with this big guy because, like, you know what? I got my front end's too light, it's not happening. I've turned down a few because of that. The truck has limitations, even though she's big. She's pretty big, but she's got limitations. And knowing those limitations can be the difference between literally not going home that night or ever again. All it takes is going around one corner, slide your front end, off in the ditch you go. That 30,000 pounds behind you will literally push you off the road. On this one anyway. I'm talking about 30K. And that's something we can go into later on. But to keep this short, I'm going to wrap this one up. It's kind of oddball and off. But it's something me and Ray have wanted to chat about for a while. We can do more, and like I said, we can do more on the booms and the rigging and all that stuff, and show you examples of what we use professionally, so to speak. And call it trash talking if you want, but we're not we're talking on a professional level, not a bunch of people on YouTube trying to make money with jerk straps. That might strike a chord with some people, but me personally, anyone that knows me personally, I don't like sugarcoating stuff. You want something sugarcoated, there's a bakery around the corner. Go get something from there. What I'm talking is real weight, real problems, and real solutions, safe solutions. And once again, if y'all want to see that, we'll definitely do a video on that and make it happen. But until then, leave some comments, good, bad, and different. Let us know your opinion. Love to hear it. I'm going to edit this up and try to get it pumped out. So, as always, like, share, subscribe. Give that bloody bell a ring. That'd be awesome. And like I said, everyone that watches and subscribes, we appreciate you guys more than you realize. So, until next week. Fly on the camera. There's a fly in the middle of the lens at the moment, so bear with us. Is, you know, a little busy. Ray's just gonna up and leave us. Rude!